Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Asos Kalimos, happy to be joining you for another edition of NBA Player Prop Parlay here on the Guy Boston Sports YouTube channel. Happy Friday to everybody. You survived the week, the weekend is here, and another NBA Player Prop Parlay is here that I'm sure we'll hit today, so let's dive right into it. So starting off, guys, we have a three-leg parlay today, and starting off the first leg of our three-leg parlay, we have Rudy Gobert over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, guys, before you make fun of me, before you start going, wait, Rudy Gobert, yuck, oh, I don't want to bet on him, and no, he's not a good player and all this stuff, stop. Shut up. Respectfully. Rudy Gobert, yes, he's become kind of a meme. He's become kind of a joke in the NBA. Still a really good player, and honestly, if you haven't been paying attention, he's having a really good season along with the rest of the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're honestly a top 5 team in the West right now, and Rudy Gobert is a big reason for that. And look, there's a couple reasons why I like the spot here. First and foremost, this is a spot that Rudy Gobert is hitting consistently. This over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assist number. He has hit this in 8 of his last 10 games. So this is a spot that he is hitting consistently. He's going to do it mostly in points and rebounds. Again, like always, we throw the assists in there to tack in a little extra value, because he does get a couple assists a game here and there. But this is a spot that he's hitting consistently. His rebound and scoring numbers have been solid. He's not like a great scorer. It's not like he's going to drop 30-something, but he can get you at least 16 points. And obviously with his size, all you really need then at that point is 10 or 11 rebounds, which for Rudy Gobert is very doable. And one of the most important reasons why I like the spot is it's a great matchup for Gobert against a Spurs team that struggles against centers. This team struggles against, well, pretty much anybody, really. The Spurs are not a very good basketball team right now, but especially against centers. The Spurs are struggling. They are the worst team in the NBA right now against centers. Centers are averaging 20 points per game against them. They're giving up almost 13 rebounds a game to centers. And also they have one of the worst assist numbers. Like, they're giving up over 3 assists a game to centers against the Spurs. So the Spurs defensively, they're not really doing well guarding big guys. And so it's a very favorable matchup for Gobert here. He's going to get his number. So I like the spot here over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You can get that at minus 120 odds on DraftKings, which of course is my sportsbook of choice. I'm sure if you shop around, you might find better, but I typically use DraftKings. Next up, guys, second leg of the parlay, we have Tobias Harris over 22.5 points plus rebounds. You get that at minus 110 odds on DraftKings. Look, Tobias Harris is hitting this number at an exorbitant rate this season. His last 5 games, he's hit this. And 8 of his last 10 games, even dating back to last season, he's hit this. Only once this season has he not hit this, which was against Toronto. But otherwise, he's hitting this number at a pretty high rate, especially with Harden gone. Tobias Harris has sort of become the unofficial number 3, right? Obviously, it's Embiid and Maxey. It's their team, and then he's kind of the 3rd or 4th guy. But because of that, he's getting good looks, and he's putting up decent numbers. So I like Tobias Harris in this spot. Minus 110 odds, too. I think that's a really great value for a prop that he's consistently hitting and a matchup that I really like here for him. The Sixers are matching up with a Pistons team that's not all that great defensively, and so I like the spot for Harris here. The Pistons are giving up almost 119 points per game and almost 45 rebounds per game to opposing teams. And when you dive a little deeper and you look at the numbers against power forwards, they're giving up almost 23 points per game to power forward position, and they're giving up almost 11 rebounds a game to the power forward position. So players in Harris's position are having success against this Pistons team. And again, in general, the Pistons defensively, they're giving up, almost 119 points a game. They're giving up almost 45 rebounds a game. They're not a great team right now, and I think this is a matchup that the Sixers can take advantage of. And in particular, I think Tobias Harris will take advantage of. So I like the spot here for Harris, over 22.5 points plus rebounds again. He's been doing it consistently. The last 5 games, he's hit this. In 8 of his last 10, he's hit this. So I like the spot, and especially with the matchup, I really like this spot here for Harris. And real quick, guys, before we jump into the third and final leg of the parlay, I, of course, have to talk to you guys about our show sponsor, Outlier, and I cannot endorse them enough. I say this constantly, and I know a lot of you probably don't believe me. When Ev says it, they probably don't believe him, but it is the cold, hard truth. Even if Outlier wasn't a sponsor of a show, even if I had no affiliation with them, if they were just a sports betting tool that I found out there, I would still use it 110%. It is the best sports betting tool, in my opinion, on the market, and they're just getting better. They're constantly adding updates that improve their betting statistics, that improve your chances of using their tool to your advantage. I mean, they have everything: patterns, trends, odds from multiple sports books. Now they started doing stats against positions and against teams, so you can look at specific matchups. Usually I'd have to go to multiple websites to do this. Now it's all integrated, and the best part is you can take picks right in Outlier, save them, and they ship right to your sportsbook. So you don't have to go ahead and re-enter them all in your sportsbook. You put them in Outlier, you go to your sportsbook, they're already saved. You just got to hit how much you want to put in, and you hit bet. It's a fantastic tool. I cannot endorse it enough, guys. I've been using Outlier for the past week or so, and I got to be honest, I love it so much. I cannot endorse it enough. I guarantee you guys, it is worth the investment. You get a 7-day free trial to give it a shot. The biggest worry I have with that is you guys are going to get hooked on it. That's honestly my biggest fear with giving you guys this link, is that you guys are going to use Outlier and you're going to become addicted, and you're going to have to subscribe, which is not a problem at all. So check it out, Outlier, link in the description below, 7-day free trial. Let's get into the third and final leg of this parlay. And for the third and final leg of this parlay, we are going Russell Westbrook under 1.5 3-pointers made. You get that at minus 235 odds on DraftKings. I'm actually doing a little flipperoo here. Usually I finish the parlays with the leg that has like the worst, like the riskiest odds, I should say. Here we're going with the safest pick, Russell Westbrook under 1.5 3-pointers made. Now look, statistically speaking, he's actually hit this number pretty consistently this year. He's actually attempting over 4.5 threes a game, and he's hitting about 1.5 to 2. So he's actually hitting, for Russell Westbrook standards, pretty good. I think he's shooting about 32% from 3. But here's the thing. This number is starting to dip now because of the fact that James Harden is there. And I think with Harden and Paul George and Kawhi, the number of threes, he's not going to be taking almost 5 threes a game anymore. That number, I think, is going to die down. And I don't think Russell Westbrook, again, maybe I'm wrong, but I've watched Russell Westbrook enough in my lifetime to know he's not that great of a 3-point shooter. I think that this hot start will not last. This shooting 32% from 3, I can't see it happening much longer. And like I said, especially with Harden being there now, you're going to see less touches. You're going to see less shots. He's not going to take those threes as often. I think he'll probably take maybe 2 or 3 threes a game. And again, I just don't see him hitting it at 30% rate. So I like the spot here, minus 235 odds. Also, there's the fact that Dallas is one of the best defensive teams against 3-pointers. Right? Teams are not hitting threes on this Mavericks team. Now, to be fair, Dallas has had a kind of a soft schedule, so that number is a little skewed because they're playing weaker teams. But it is a fact that Dallas right now, teams are not hitting threes on them. They are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA right now against 3-pointers made. So pretty good spot here. You have a team that's not allowing many threes on them, and you have a player who, although he's had a decent start to the year in terms of 3-point shooting, historically, not a great 3-point shooter. So I'm not stressing about it too much here. Give me the under, 1.5 3-pointers made. Maybe he'll hit 1, and I could see that, but I just don't think he's a good enough shooter. He'll have to take more shots in order to hit that volume. And I think with Harden and Kawhi, with all the guys they have there now, all the superstar powers and the guys that need the ball, I just don't see Westbrook taking, 4, 5, 6, 7 threes a game anymore. That time has passed. Harden's going to take most of those shots away from him now. And he's not a great off-ball player also. So I just don't see it. So give me that spot here. Final leg of our parlay. And when you put that all together, guys, you get plus 398 odds on DraftKings. Again, you can shop around, try your own sportsbook. I typically use DraftKings. But considering the spots here, you have 2 guys who, this is then just a consistent mark they've hit. Great matchups for them. And honestly, all 3 of these guys are in great matchups for these stats to hit. Westbrook is the only one where there's not really a pattern to follow, where it's not like he's, he hasn't hit this in 9 of his last 10. He's actually been consistently hitting it, but his last couple of games, he's tailed off a little bit. I think with Harden getting a bigger role, getting more minutes, getting more touches, you're going to see the number decline. And again, I just think naturally, Westbrook is not going to hit 2+ threes a game. You know what I mean? That's just not his game. So I like the spot here. Plus 398 odds. Pretty good odds, guys. Good start to the weekend. Let's start with a win. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I will be back tomorrow with a new NBA Player Prop Parlay. Until then, I hope you're all winners. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the weekend.